Go to privacy.com/wang and get $5 free thanks to today's sponsor, privacy.com. There comes a time in every young boy's life when he gets to an age where he needs a little more personal space. He needs his mother to back off a little and give him some room to breathe. Well, I mean, most boys. Sometimes these mothers do give them the space they need. Other times, they do everything they can to keep them as little boys forever. And how effective their chosen approach was or wasn't will be reflected in their future therapy bills. Well, one mother from the Netherlands came up with a way to cope with her son growing up that worked for both of them. My son doesn't want to cuddle anymore, so I knit a cuddly version of him. Yes, she made a replica of her son made completely out of yarn. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, I know the question that already popped into your head. Are there real human bones inside of it? The answer? Technically yes, but not in the way you think. So for this episode of Tales from the Internet, let's take a look at the lady who reinvented her son out of yarn. One morning, not too long ago, I woke up to see that my phone was getting blown up with messages and people tagging me on Twitter. They were showing me this post and telling me that I had to do a video about it. So I take a look and this is what I see. No, this is not a picture of someone that's been horribly burned. This right here is a boy made of yarn. It was attached to a Facebook post that had been screenshotted and was making the rounds all over the place. A mom whose son is growing too old for cuddles has come up with a unique solution. When her son stopped wanting to cuddle, she knitted a life-sized version of him. Now, she can cuddle his yarn doppelganger as much as she likes. Now she wants to help other moms. She says, "We thought it would be a great idea for mothers with too much love for their children and need to cuddle, so they could knit their own cuddly pillow son." This was like a cross between that Sally Acorn doll that I had the old video on, and those people that have those fake babies that they treat like real babies. Except, even kinda weirder because it's based on a real person, her son. It stands to reason that her young son still lives at home, right? Can you imagine, you come home from school, you go sit down at the dinner table, and sitting right across from you, staring you in the eye, is you, but made out of yarn. All because you're not giving your mother the attention she wants. It's like some kind of inverted Norman Bates situation. And despite the oddness of the facial features, it does seem to be really well constructed. I mean, look at the articulation in his hands as he eats his fries. The fries that are also made out of yarn. Tell me this, if a boy's made out of yarn, and he eats french fries that are also made out of yarn, does that make him a cannibal? Or is it like he exists as a part of this yarn dimension where every molecule is a piece of yarn? I'm just trying to get the yarn boy lore situated. There he is, picking his nose, digging for boogers that I can only imagine are made of green yarn. Riding his skateboard in his Punk's Not Dead sweater, no apostrophe, implying that there exists multiple punks just walking around like GLaDOS. They're still alive. And this yarn construction is sturdy enough that it can hold a skateboard in his arm. And here he is with a real boy for scale. As soon as I saw these pictures and that post, I knew that there had to be more to this story. It begins on Instagram. The creator of the yarn boy, Mary Key Vorsluis, began posting the photos of her creation on Instagram on January 11th, 2016, to a wide variety of reactions. Some thought it was kinda creepy, some thought it was cute, others were simply marveling at the immense skill it had to have taken to make. So to explain this further, she writes in an article that she submits to boardpanda.com. "My son doesn't want to cuddle anymore, so I knit a cuddly version of him." It was from this post, based primarily on this headline, that this yarn creation would go viral and blow up all over the internet. Obviously, that explanation combined with those pictures is gonna lead to some crazy stories in people's heads. Like, when you put it that way, it legitimately sounds like something out of a horror movie. But when you start to read the post, it actually makes a lot more sense. She begins by explaining that the inspiration for this piece came through her work. "I am a professional knitter who likes to knit cool things for my brand, Club Galuk. We knit realistic everyday stuff with lots of details and even wrote a couple books about it. We knit hams, TVs, plants, all sorts of funny and unique design things." Let's take a look at some of these items. Club Galuk. We have things like a yarn lobster on a plate, a yarn cake, a yarn plate of spaghetti with shrimp. The level of detail on this is actually really impressive. Like, I had no idea you could do this kind of stuff with yarn. Look at super elaborate paintings made out of yarn. Like she took these and almost made it like a kind of pixel art. A yarn Jesus? Why do girls love Jesus? Because he's hung like this. Each bin kinky? The fuck is a good hand job? I mean, I know what a good hand job is, but I mean, what is the section a good hand job? And I can't show you what's here, but it's a lot of very highly detailed penises made out of yarn. In various shapes, sizes, and colors. Many of them mounted on a wooden plaque. Like, I'm going to put up a picture of that bass you hang up on the wall and it sings, except instead of the bass, picture a giant yarn cock. You know, the sea bass thing, it has a little voice box in it that makes it work. You could probably get one of the yarn cocks and put the voice box in the cock so that it's a singing mounted cock on the wall. There you go, free idea for a how-to channel. A yarn condom? I would not recommend using that. That's for display purposes only. There's also a whole bunch of yarn porn, like this cigar box where a naked guy, this is what it looks like. A naked guy is squatting over another naked guy, and I think he's peeing or about to pee on the other guy's face. It's a little vague. It's like a 16-bit game where the pixelation leaves a bit to your imagination. So at this point, I'm looking at this site, and you guys know what I'm thinking. I need to buy something from this site. How about, since I made the Portal reference before, I buy the yarn cake? Actually, this is the perfect time to talk about today's sponsor, Privacy.com. Privacy.com is a service that allows you to make an unlimited amount of single-use debit cards. This is perfect for security purposes, so you're not using the same card number everywhere and letting it get stolen, or for budgeting purposes. Your privacy card gets stolen, it's alright, you just spent all the money on yarn. Your kid's spending all your money on Robux? Give them a privacy card that has a spending limit. Let me show you how it works. After installing it on my browser and creating an account, I set up my card, which I nicknamed Butt because I'm 12 years old. Set a limit of, let's say, $100 and make it single use. I go buy my cake with the card I just made and boom, works just like a regular card. Oh, and what's that? You saw the card number, so you think you can just go and steal my money? Guess what? I made the card single use, so it no longer exists. There's nothing for you to steal. So you see now how this is a big win for your online security, right? Head to privacy.com/wang, that's privacy.com/wang, and sign up for an account. As a special treat for my viewers, new customers will automatically get $5 to spend on your first purchase. For a limited time only though. I'm literally giving you free money. Go to privacy.com/wang and sign up now. Now I just gotta wait for the cake to arrive and put it in my collection with my Alex Chu immortality rings. I'll post it on Instagram when it gets here. So clearly, this is an extremely talented person that's making whole-ass sculptures and paintings out of yarn. Really pushing this medium in ways that I had never even considered. And as she puts it in her blog post, making the yarn boy was actually a challenge that she made for herself to improve her knitting skills. Not only that, but despite the implication that she made the yarn boy because her son was growing distant, he actually liked the idea and worked on it with her. And after seeing such mixed reactions from people they knew in real life, they decided to do the photo shoot. She goes into more detail in the blog post. It was a fun family art project. When it was finished, we thought it would be a great idea for mothers with too much love for their children and need to cuddle, so they could knit their own cuddly pillow son. My knitted son consists of a knitted head with a cap, hands with nails and watch, knitted trousers, a knitted sweater with an obstinate slogan, knitted sneakers, and knitted iPod. As for what's inside, well, actually, the knitting pattern is characteristics of both my sons. The other one had just grown so much during the process that the smaller one was only able to wear it when it was finished. So yeah, the reason why the yarn boy seems disturbingly realistic and seems to move in a very lifelike way isn't that there's a fully carved bone skeleton inside of it like Princess Sally. Rather, the skeleton inside belongs to her son, and the skeleton's still in him, because he's in the costume. Even with that explanation though, some people were still creeped out. Lady, that's a little strange. Maybe you should talk to a shrink. What the heck? Why would someone do this to their child? What if their friends come over and see the thing sitting there staring at you? What are you supposed to do? Be like, oh dude, that's super cool, I guess. And the people saying to stop judging her. I did read the article, and it's still weird to me, just saying. Man, even Jared from Subway didn't do this. Although eventually the comments did fill with more people who were on her side. Good lord, you people are stupid, it's a joke, it's just for fun. It's creepy. The story largely went viral in other outlets and on social media without the context that A, it's just a costume, and B, not only is it her son wearing it, but he helped make it. This led to people thinking there's this creepy Dutch mom out there who replaced her son with some kind of yarn zombie. And some people, after finding this out and being weirded out by it, went and read the full story, and then they got even more weird about it, with a lot of people seemingly running with this narrative that she forced her sons to do it. This is fucking sick and weird. Your kids turn out demented because some of you have coping issues you need to get sorted before having them. FYI, it's not a stuffed yarn replica. She makes her other sons wear the yarn version of her eldest son to cuddle. I have to share it with more info. She makes a younger son pretend to be the older son in a yarn suit to cuddle the older son. Do y'all see the problem here? I don't know, maybe I'm the weird one here, but looking at the full context, I just don't think there's anything that wrong with this. It's a kid working on an art project with his mom, with every indication pointing to the fact that he wanted to do this. And I can't help but think that a lot of people who are like, oh, this is creepy and she has problems and whatnot, are probably the same people that go around like, oh, the kids be on their phones, they're playing too much Fortnite. So, you know, let them do a family art project. In any case, with the narrative having gone wildly out of her hands, Mary Kay would eventually talk to Huffington Post's Weird News department. They would write an article called, "Woman who knitted life-sized version of her son says you don't get the joke. She really doesn't want to cuddle with it." In the article, she expresses her thoughts now after this whole thing went viral. Thing is, although this seems pretty straightforward, according to Vorsluis, she meant it as a sarcastic joke. If I knew so many people thought this was really about getting more cuddles by a lovesick mother by knitting my son, I would have posted something different, Vorsluis says. Somehow I can't help but think that she knew that the original title, "My son doesn't want to cuddle anymore, so I knit a cuddly version of him," paired with such striking, bizarre photos, was a recipe to go viral. But I guess she made the mistake of assuming that people would actually read the article she wrote and understand it. That's just not something you can take for granted online. I mean, realistically, there's probably people who just saw the thumbnail for this video, or they just watched the first minute of this video, and now they're telling all their friends, oh my god, this creepy lady made a Princess Sally bone skeleton out of her son. She made a bone skeleton boy out of real bones, and now I gotta tell everybody. But it's the kind of thing where no matter what information you put out on it, some people are just gonna think it's weird, while other people are going to appreciate it for its artistic value. And on that note, while occasionally still making appearances on her Instagram, it has also been shown at the Frieze Museum in the Netherlands. So although a lot of people online didn't get the joke, I guess people in the legitimate art world did. But anyway, that's the story of the boy made out of yarn. If you like this video, check out my video about the haunted painting where a haunted boy comes out of it. I'm out. Also, don't forget, privacy.com/wang.